Rico Beard, the floor is yours.
All right, Mike, we start at number 14. They were on a bye last week, and they can't get any lower. The Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Totally disagree. Northwestern lost at home to Miami, Ohio, 14-7. Outrageous selection by you.
So we're already doing this. At 13, losing to Miami of Ohio, 17-14 at home, the Northwestern Wildcats.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
As much, we always talk about heat on coaches and hot seats. And what would it take for Pat Fitzgerald to feel some pressure to make some changes? Not get fired, but just, Pat, we love you, but this is really bad.
So long as Northwestern is good every 3 years,
Okay.
I think that's enough for the fan base, because there isn't this groundswell of Northwestern fans that we got to be good.
No.
He's in the perfect situation. He played there. He's taken them to Indy twice. He took them to big-time bowl games, so they're okay with that. Expectations are low.
Enjoy 2-10.
At number 12, a team that I think may have found their quarterback, Mike, and Evan Simon. He threw for 300 yards against Iowa. I forgot what you call them. Let's just call them Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers.
I can live with it. That's where they belong, in the gutter.
Okay. At number 11, I have your Michigan State Spartans.
I'm proud of you. And I'd like to say, I know David is a marriage counselor for many people at his parish. Him counseling you and Michigan State, this is growth. This is real personal growth by you.
How is it personal growth? We all saw
I thought you'd have him at 3.
No.
I'm kidding. No.
Okay, we're doing this. Hey, David, get Bishop on the line.
Wait a minute. I think that's right where they are, because who would I pick them to beat? Northwestern, Rutgers, and Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's really about it. So I think you've done it appropriately.
I think that they could beat the school that's right ahead of them.
Indiana?
But Indiana.
Here's your problem. Last week, Connor Bazelak threw it 66 times against Cincinnati.
That was a track meet.
And it worked.
Yes. That was a track meet that they played against Cincinnati, but they never really stood a chance against Cincinnati.
No, it's 38-10 at the half.
And it was on the road, so I'll give them half a credit. So I got Indiana at 10. At 9, a team that, man, they do their best to just do dumb stuff at the end of the game to try to lose. The Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah.
They were a 2-point conversion away from going to overtime against Florida Atlantic. They couldn't stop number 1 on Florida Atlantic, and everybody knew where the ball was going. Purdue.
Are you talking the quarterback?
No, the wide receiver.
Oh, Jacosi Perry's actually a good player at QB. But, yeah, I mean, dude, that game against FAU, the ridiculousness at the end of the Syracuse game, and then I'm never going to forgive Jeff Brom for the time management against Penn State.
Right. You right now, you could have been a lot better team, but you're not. At number 8, fresh off of a shutout of Chattanooga. Illinois fighting Illini 31-0 last Thursday. I don't know what they are. Illinois?
They're stable. I think Illinois is actually just stable mediocrity. Give Bert some time, but he's come in and he's settled this thing.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm not telling you you don't get a great, you don't get an award for stable mediocrity. They don't hand you like a YouTube trophy.
Well, and also the good thing about that, too, is not a ton of pressure.
No.
From the Illinois fan base. It's just, hey, can you get us to a bowl game 3 out of every 4 years? At number 7, well, the latest victim to Ohio State is the Wisconsin Badgers. They went into Columbus. Ohio State had their way with them, and then in the end said, okay, you can have the table scraps. Go ahead and score so it doesn't look as bad when you go back to Madison.
I continue to say it. Paul Chryst at Wisconsin feels like D'Antonio at the end. The program erosion is there. The offensive line no longer really hits. Rico, it's just, Jim Leonard. That's
a good way of looking at it.
I'd give the job to Jim Leonard before Jim Leonard takes another job.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I wonder if is Jim Leonard still that guy, though? Like, you know how some coaches have a shelf life, that they're the hot name.
You want to offer him $2 million, come to state and be DC and find out? Because I do.
Really?
Yeah. But go ahead. Topic for another day.
All right. At number 6, Iowa. Their offense and their defense score.
I can't. I can't. It's not that he's wrong. It's that I don't want him to be right. A team whose defense is outscoring its offense.
Yes.
A team
14-13 last game.
Right, and it's and for the season, the defense scores 9.5 points a game. The offense scores 5.8. I don't want him to be right, but he is.
They beat up on Rutgers. It was still the under, but they went out there and scored 27 points. They looked like a real football team. At number 5. And a team that, they lost their game, but I'll be honest with you, Maryland. I thought that it wasn't going to be close, and they fought Michigan tooth and nail, minus the gift that they handed them for showing up to Ann Arbor. Here's their fumble. Go ahead and score a touchdown 5 seconds into a game. But after that, I thought their confidence would be shaken, and it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe Loxley's turning a corner. I don't know.
They actually are playing defense, which is scary because Maryland can always score. But if Maryland ever got defense, that would be a tough team in the East. At number 4, Mike, you saw it on TV. I saw it up close and personal. Minnesota. Tanner Morgan, 28-year-old Tanner Morgan went out there and just looked like the man. It wasn't Ibrahim. It was Morgan. He looked like Phil Simms in this Super Bowl, Mike, where he just could not miss.
No, it's and again, getting Kurt Siaka back, the offensive coordinator. This is, we talk to Spartan fans about how important your coordinators are. Minnesota couldn't score in a whorehouse when Siaka left. They bring him back, and all of a sudden they're right back on the rails and look like they're heading Indy. Yeah. That's how important your coordinators can be.
Yeah. And at number 3, they won. I wasn't as impressed of them as University of Michigan. I expected more going up against Maryland, especially when Talia Tagovailoa was kind of shaken out of the game. They did just enough to beat Maryland, but it wasn't a dominant performance that I was expecting. At number 2, very similar to Michigan, except for they pulled it out later on. In the end, it was Penn State, and for a second, I thought CMU was going to upset them, but then they just laid the wood.
14-14 at halftime.
And then they just, it ended up being 33-14.
I'm pretty sure that was the moment Cookies live bet CMU, only to see Penn State score every point the rest of the way. I told him, Jim, I wouldn't do that.
And then at number 1, and they're back after being gone in my polls rankings for a week. Ohio State is just all that. It is the big one, little 13. We're all living in their world and paying rent.
Take it easy.
What do you mean?
I'm not ready to go there.
Really? What else do you need to see, Mike?
Well, dropping 100 on Toledo doesn't make it move. And I just told you I think Wisconsin blows. Signed D'Antonio the late years.
Who's the team that they need to go out there to beat before you finally say?
Penn State. I don't know. Show me a night game at Iowa or Minnesota, or you got to beat Michigan. I'm just not going to get seduced by OSU yet. I'm not.
Really? That's not seduction, Mike. That's just called we're better than everybody. But anyway.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called. It ain't seduction. They're not even healthy, and they're still destroying people.
I still have a fear that Ryan Day's ego and obstinance will get in the way of them reaching peak what they could be.
So you're saying the October 29th at Penn State. That's where you will say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to Penn State and put out a virtuoso performance where you don't pull it from the fire. You don't have to blow them out, but you're in control and you're willing to line up and run it, not feed your ego and your Bond villain beard. Line up and hammer the football because they're capable of it.
I know.
But Ryan Day has to be willing to do it.
But Ryan Day also likes to touchdown play, and he likes fun, and he likes to throw the ball around.
Ryan Day looks like a Bond villain from Luxembourg. No one believes that beard is real, Ryan. No one.
It is. It's like,
what?
Certain Fab Five players' hairline.
Now, I don't have a flag nearby, but that's just unbelievably inappropriate.
Nobody believes that's real either. All right.
Shout out Bijan.
Oh, but I get the flag.
I can't throw it again. It's on the floor.
David's hat went flying like a ref.
The refs throw the hat, throw the headphones. That's your Week 4 Big Ten Power Ranking.